Looks bright-eyed.
I think she just woke up from a nap.
I think so too.
Gave her plenty of time to get ready.
See if Jake can hold up.
Yeah, I don't
after
know.
that long match. He looks a little exhausted. Is it a Delver to start things? It's Nibble Mongoose. That'll do just fine here. In the finals of our Legacy Open from DC, Nibble Mongoose is the first spell that is played.
Yeah, I mean, the goose can't be decayed, man.
Accurate.
You keep Tarmogoyf off the table, the goose is king.
See what Jake wants to search up here. Looks like maybe an Underground Sea, but it's going to consult the hand. This feels like this might be Deathrite Shaman, but it could also be a suspension of Ancestral Visions. Yeah, it's the Shaman.
Yeah.
Is it the Daze?
If I had to pick between the two, I like Deathrite Shaman in this matchup.
Get that mana advantage so you don't have to worry about taxing. Also, you get to remove your opponent's graveyard a little bit.
Yeah.
See what this is. It's a Pondere.
Try to keep that goose under control. I think it's Jadine's job to just kill this thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, she has one of the bolts, forked or lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Get that thing off the table. Gonna sacrifice the Wooded Foothills, go down 19. I imagine we'll see a Volcanic. One thing that's actually nice here for the Rug Delver player, don't have to really worry about Wasteland from the Charlotte's Bug deck for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, Jake has two, but again, it's one of those matchups where Wasteland is almost certainly better in play trying to pay for a Daze or a Spell Pierce. You know, the Rug deck doesn't have many lands, but they have a lot of cantrips. They can generally find something pretty close to what they need. And if they just need like another land, it's not difficult for them to find it. So your lands are a little too important.
There's a Delver. Of course, the Goose can't attack. His Deathrite is a 1-2. And now, you know, Jake is going to just try to gum things up. Now, Jake actually did draw Wasteland, so this gets a little bit interesting. There is also a Baleful Strix over there. That's the card I think that makes things actually pretty difficult because there are a lot of cards that you want to, like, bolt in the matchup. You want to kill Baleful. You want to kill Deathrite. And now, you know, again, Jake just wants to, you know, build his mana. There's days that's going to flip this. Jadine's going to draw the Daze. Has a Flooded Strand in hand.
Yeah, Baleful Strix is basically in this deck as an answer to Delver of Secrets and Nibble Mongoose. Like, that is why it's there for matchups like this.
It's a Brainstorm. And a 1, 2, and a 3. Is there a red one there? I don't think there's a red card in her hand yet. That means none of the bolts. At least it looks that way. All right, so Brainstorm's going to put 2 cards back. And now crack that. So, down to 18. Strix is just going to cause all sorts of problems this game if she doesn't find a bolt.
Yeah, it does. And it's like, you don't feel great bolting that thing, but you certainly don't feel great trading a threat for it either.
No, because, I mean, your deck only has 12 threats.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm Jadine, I'm not shoving my Mongoose in there. That's, like, really tough.
It is tough, right? I mean, like, the Mongoose is not at threshold yet. Jake does have the Deathrite Shaman to kind of keep it under control, make it a little more manageable.
All right, there's a bolt going after the Deathrite. And now, wow, okay. That's not a turn I saw coming. That makes things very interesting. Blue Delta's going to get sacrificed here from Mondello. Jadine very patient.
Yeah. I mean, could just be waiting for next turn, maybe play another cantrip, find another bolt, either lightning or forked, and try and force a little something through.
Jake sacrificed the fetch line right away to play around Stifle.
Mm-hmm.
Jadine's going to play a Wasteland. So starting to get the mana denial game online now. Yep, going to Wasteland, get the Underground Sea out of here. This will be an Abrupt Decay to get the Delver gone. And of course that's going to resolve. Now the graveyard's getting pretty full here for Nimble Mongoose. And now, doesn't seem comfortable offering up a trade. Looks like we're exactly at 7 cards. Now here's this, there's a Snap Block.
Snap Block.
Yeah, can't block fast enough.
But then there's the real threat.
There's a Force. No, we know she's got a Daze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can pass up the opportunity to do this. Yep. So there that goes. We'll get our Tarmogoyf die out there, see exactly how big that thing is. Mondello draws a copy of Jace, plays a Creeping Tarpon, passes the turn back, but Tarmogoyf is pretty big, especially because there's an artifact down there.
Yep. Baleful Strix and Charlotte's Agent, both artifacts. So Tarmogoyf tends to be pretty good in this deck and against it. But from Jake's side, this is basically where you don't want to be. You're light on mana sources. The Rug deck has a threat. The more expensive spells are kind of clogging your hand at this point. We see them with a Jace, a Liliana.
Yeah, it really needs to get the Liana play, but I mean, the chances of that going well seem like pretty slim between like Spell Pierce and Daze, and maybe a Force of Will plus a blue card that's been sandbagged for a while. But Mondello's going to draw cards. Another Creeping Tarpon, so that one's going to come in and play tapped, but he's going to start by Brainstorming, and this is going to get pierced.
Yeah, and that's worth piercing. You got to think that Brainstorm is going to get him closer to an Abrupt Decay that you can't interact with.
Yeah, no, as we have watched Jadine play, her aggressive use of like countering Brainstorms and Ponders, I've actually liked a lot. I actually think that's something that this deck needs to do.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Especially when you're in an Abrupt Decay matchup. Or, you know, Tarmogoyf isn't particularly safe, so you need to get as much damage out of it as you can, which right now the amount has been 10.
That's good.
So here's Liliana.
Fetch
this resolve.
Fetch lane open and potentially play around Daze.
Yep. It's definitely the trigger would be beaten.
Yeah.
Or the activation.
Yep. That has happened to me. I'm like, kill your goose, and they're like, no, sir.
Gotta sacrifice the wooded foothills. Looks like it's time to go search up a volcanic island. So there that is. In just a moment, I imagine. Wants to consult the hand, make sure she's going to search for the right card. Yep. Let's see if there is a Stifle here. Maybe we could see a Brainstorm, perhaps. Not entirely sure. Yep, there's a Daze. Sack this. Go down to 6.
And I like this play from Jadine.
Yeah?
Because even if she doesn't have the Stifle or another Daze, it still puts him down to 6, which is in double bolt range.
Jadine will draw. There's Volcanic. Another Goyf, kick it back.
That's good too.
Yep. There's Jace.
But, you know.
The land there may actually been very important too.
Yeah.
And this is now a situation where it's okay, bounce that, tick this up, choose one.
I don't know if you knew this, but Jason and Liliana are kind of besties.
They're like such good friends. Well, now it's time to go to Lightning Bolts. Let's play a Tarmogoyf here. Like, if you play a Tarmogoyf, Liliana takes care of that. Or Jace bounces it, or, you know, I mean, these two things, both these cards are busted, so
Yeah.
if you want to play Tarmogoyf, it's like, whatever. Like, I can figure out a way to beat that. 1, 2, and 3. Now Jace is starting to take over. You know, the card that did a lot of the heavy lifting this game was actually Baleful Strix.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, man, it's in there for this deck specifically.
Discard Daze. Yep. Draw. That's a Ponder. This is where you get into runner bull territory.
Yep, exactly.
And you gotta get moving on that. before Jake maybe starts fate sealing you.
All it takes is one nice brainstorm or ponder, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a shuffle. And I have covered a lot of Rug Delver matches in my life. I have seen runner runner bolt happen.
Yeah, that is certainly a thing.
It's a tough way to go. If you're Mondello too, like, you don't want to open yourself up to losing a fork bolt. So
right, those fetches will hopefully stay uncracked for him.
yeah. Jadine just gonna pass the turn back. See if Mondello remembers the vision's trigger here, as he does crack a fetch land pretty quickly actually. So he's gonna go down to 5. So now lightning bolt plus fork bolt is now. He will take that down.
I mean, the top 2 cards of his deck were lands, so probably feels like he can close this game out faster than it would matter.
Gonna go fate sealing. That one stayed on top real quick. This elevator goes up. We'll be discarding. It's a force of will, and now we're attacking with a creeping tar pit down to 14. Goes Klomparens. Yep, there's a land, Scalding Tarn. This is a Goyf. Kick it back, tick it down. Mondello looking to close here. Jace, gonna fate seal, that stays. That's a Charlotte's Agent. What do we find? We don't want any of these. That's okay, that speeds things up.
Yep.
That's a 5/6. That's gonna tick down. Get Jadine Tarmogoyf off the board.
And again, Jake basically in full control at this point.
Yep.
But still not a lock. Does not have that check
It's
mark.
close. The window is definitely closing.
It is.
I mean, we're on a 2-turn clock now.
Yeah.
I mean, Tarmogoyf's a 5. Of course, Charlotte's Agent's a 2. So you can get it done in 2 turns, but we're real close to runner. And to be fair, for Jadine, especially because she searched out a Trop instead of getting a Volcanic there, like, I think it has to be like runner burn spell now.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, it can be like cantrip into burn spell and then cantrip into burn spell.
Yeah. But it has to start this turn.
Yes.
Step 1.
Right. Take a little gander.
Can she get there? Keep him.
That's got to be scary for Jake.
Yep, fork bolt you. You're 3.
And then
I want to know what that top card is.
I think it might be another cantrip.
That's what I think it is, right? If it's a cantrip, he's like, yeah, immediately put that to the bottom, and the next card's bolt, and it's over. Yep, let's take a look. If it stays,
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something
It's gotta
worth
be
pushing.
yeah, it's got to be a cantrip. Yep. Yeah, you attack for 7, I imagine. Yeah, because, I mean, there's no haste creatures or anything.
No.
Yeah, so attack for 7. Puts you to 6. And
She knows what the next card is, so.
Ah,
that's
yeah,
it.
you're right. Yeah, it's nothing there. Okay. Yeah, because kept with the ponder, draws the fork bolt, put that card gets pushed, and then she knows the next card. Okay, so
Yep.
that's why she conceded. Got it. Jake Mondello does win game number 1 there over Jadine Klomparens. Charlotte's Bug up a game over Rug Delver. I know you're comfortable in that matchup, so.
I am.
Man, we'll look at the sideboards here in just a minute, but you got a 12-monther,
I do.
and there
so,
won't be an hour in between. We don't think.
Hmm?
Won't be an hour in between the question and the answer.
I
we don't
think so.
Okay.
I mean, this matchup
It's a little.
should go pretty quickly.
It's a
but
little
anyway,
faster.
No
We'll see.
promises. No promises.
Okay.
All right.
Hashtag SCG Premium. You guys know the drill. Come on.
Okay. So next weekend, we have this invitational thing, season 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing different things. But where is it?
Yeah. Where is it?
Tell me where it is. City, state.
Good.
Got to be specific.
Place sucks, as most of you guys know. So, that's not my opinion. It's Patrick's.
Okay.
I like it. Patrick thinks it sucks. So,
Good cover.
If you can name that place that Patrick thinks sucks, the place where this season 3 invitational will be. Hashtag the answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium. Make sure you're following SCG Live. And we will announce the winner at the conclusion of our final round. We head back to the match. We'll take a look at the sideboards here. Jadine taking a look at Jake's deck list. We'll actually start with Jake here, even though he will be on the draw. 2 Now Spellbombs, 2 Chills, 2 Disfigures, 2 Flusterstorms, Force of Will, 2 Charms, 2 Hymn to Thorax, a Thought Season, a Toxic Deluge. What do you like?
Nile Spellbomb keeps the goose under control.
Yep.
Disfigure kills Delver and allows you to win Tarmogoyf fights.
Disfigure's a delight.
It is a delight.
I like that card a lot.
And other than that, like you can play stuff like Toxic Deluge or Flusterstorm, but not exactly what you want in this matchup.
Can you try to hymn somebody? Is him like not good?
So him is really tough because there's all the dazes and spell pierces and all that stuff, and it's really about what's on board, not necessarily about like what the hand size is or whatever. You know, you are trading 1 for 1, but you can't try and play this card advantage-y game when, you know, they're just beating you down and playing the land destruction game. Like, they're going to win that fight.
Okay. Jadine side, a lot of 2s and 1s, along with 3 Red Elemental Blast. Got 2 Rough Tumbles, a Vendilion Click, 2 Submerge, a Grip, a Grudge, a Vortex, an Elemental, a Pithing Needle, and 2 copies of Grafdigger's Cage. Rough and tumble against the old Charlotte Spug deck. Just seems like it's just okay.
It is just okay, but it does clear out some double blocks when you try to assemble like double Charlotte's Agent against Nimble Mongoose. Kills those Baleful Strixes. So if you can do a spot where they have Deathrite and Baleful Strix, you get the Rough, and then...
Does it kill Baleful Strix?
Oh, it does not kill Baleful Strix. I'm wrong. It's terrible. Card's terrible. I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe just killing Deathrite Shamans isn't enough.
Like, I think if you get like a Shardless and a Deathrite, you're like, all right, like that's a fine exchange.
Yeah, you kind of like broke even on that one, right?
But I don't think you're like thrilled about that.
Yeah, I mean, the cards that you would be taking out are probably not as... They're probably better than Rough Tumble.
Like, if it killed Baleful Strix, I would board it in so fast.
Yeah, I mean, I know it doesn't kill your Delvers. I don't know why I thought that...
Because it's late.
It is late.
And it's your first time hanging out this late with me. Look, man.
Yeah, why...
You'll get your chops, and then you'll be able to stay with it. Look, man, the Visions thing was kind of embarrassing. We both kind of missed it.
We're fading. I caught it just a turn late, but...
Yeah, the Visions thing was a bit of a misstep.
Things are fading fast.
Hey, we're going to make it through this finals match. We promise. We're going to hang tough. But I honestly believe, like, if Ruff could kill Baleful Strix, I think this matchup would be, like, wildly different. But Baleful Strix seems like one of the best sets you can actually board it or, like, have in your deck against Rug Delver.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen people like Andrew Tenjum just play 4 in his main deck because he doesn't want to lose to Delver.
Yeah, and, like, you have to bolt that thing, but that's not an exchange you want to make because, like, it already cantripped, and you have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you have to use a resource on it, and, like, your bolts are valuable, as we saw at the back end of that game where she's trying to top deck running bolts to win.
Yep.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be thrilled. And, of course, you know, Fork Bolt, you get a little bit of value. You get to ting them for 1. But, I mean, you're still using a card on something that's already gotten a card.
Right. So is the 1 damage that you dealt them worth them having a card? No.
Probably not.
That's an exchange you lose. But it is, at the end of the day, something you need to do. You can't just sit there and let that Strix stare you in the face. Like, it is just better to kill it, keep swinging.
And it's like, if the Rug Delver player has to keep making those exchanges against Charlotte Spug is going to win, like, a high percentage of the time.
Yeah. Eventually, they just come out on top.
Yeah, they end the game with, like, you know, 4 cards. And I think, like, I feel like a lot of the time the game ends where, you know, the Charlotte Spug player just like, all right, no double bolt, please.
Yeah.
You know, like, because your closing speed's, like, pretty good, but you probably take, like, some damage in the early turns of the game.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, all right, just hang on. And hopefully you don't die. And that's what happened game 1.
Yeah, you can normally kill them in about 2 or 3 turns, but you do have to fade a lot of stuff, and there's not a lot of great life gain. So, like, you can play your own GT or whatever, but that's a little too slow.
You're getting Ooze in that deck.
Ooze is basically another Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. You know,
Ooze is not bad.
maybe a
I'm
little
going to
fun
write that down.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to write that. I don't have my notebook. Should I write on my hand?
Yeah, for sure. Are we in middle school?
Ooze.
You want my phone number, too?
I have your phone number.
Volcanic Island is what Jadine will search up here. I hope an Ooze wins the game with the Invitational.
Yeah, well, me too. I hope I win any games at the Invitational.
Ooh. All right. No turn 1 play. Seen this a couple times from Jadine. It's like a little surprising. She sacrifices the fetch land and then just doesn't have anything like great to do on turn 1. Like no ponder, no. I don't expect a brainstorm on 1. Like no delver, no nimble.
I mean, this smells like a stifle to me.
I mean, absolutely, it does. There's a Tarmogoyf.
That's in bolt range.
Perhaps a Daze? Maybe yes, maybe no. Could certainly wasteland that tropical island. She's giving this a lot of thought, though. Okay, so she's going to go after that. Goyf is going to be a 1-2 right now, just to land in the graveyard. Draw a card. There's a Scalding Tarn. This is a Brainstorm. That's going to put that up to a 2-3, so hit 1, 2, and 3. I was wondering if Jake would actually have hymns, and I believe he has 2 in his hand.
The only time I've really wanted him against Rug Delver is when they slow their deck down and board in a bunch of reactive cards. Like sometimes the Rug decks had like 4 submerges, and at that point you kind of needed him to be able to fight through all that stuff. But like Pyroblast is another one that's like, okay, but pretty good against Baleful Strix, you know, when it's on the stack. Same kind of deal with True Name Nemesis. And at that point, hymns can be really good. Or if the Rug Delver player gets off to a slow start, but I don't really want to bank on that.
Jadine's just going to pass the turn back, so. Mondello will draw. It's an attack for 2. I don't know if he has a second land. Uh-oh. He does not. It's on you, Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. Giddy up, buddy.
Sacrifice the fetch land. See if it's going to be a trop. Yes, it will. All right, so Jadine will move into the next turn. See, there could be a chance at like an end of turn brainstorm here or something. But there will not be one of those. So now, Klomparens will draw a card.
Can she stop the relentless onslaught from the 2/3 Tarmogoyf?
Yes. With the greatest of ease. With her own Tarmogoyf. But, on Bayou, drawn for Mondello, so now he gets to play Magic again.
Still short blue mana, but there's Abrupt Decay. Goyf gets a little bigger.
Now it's out of bolt range.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That was a scare there for a few turns.
For sure.
But it's like, you played your land, it is wastable, and you got to play a spell that impacts the game, you know?
There's a Delta. So a couple running lands has turned this game around, and now that's the blue source he needs for the Baleful Strix that's in his hand. And that's where things start to get really ugly. Now, I don't know if and when he's going to fire off those hymns, but okay, now looks to be the time. But now Jake is coming from like a couple different angles.
Yeah. He still has that mana left over to potentially suspend Ancestral Vision, too. Now he can just hide behind the Tarmogoyf, wait for that to tick down.
I imagine JD doesn't want this to resolve, but can't daze it. Forcing it basically accomplishes what Jake wants it to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's just kind of just grind you down card-wise. If you double daze it, but Jake is probably thrilled with that. Yep, there's a daze. Yep, can't pay fast enough. See what land he wants to search up here.
Feel like it's a trop. Underground Sea is nice, but you already have that swamp.
So pay. Yeah, there's a second daze, and I mean, that hymn gets exactly, I think, what Jake wants.
Yeah.
It gets 2 cards and 2 land drops.
Right. I mean, I'm sure he would have preferred to suspend Ancestral that turn, but you gotta take what you can get, you know?
Yeah. The kitten's pretty good there. I mean, what that means to me is like Jadine has something that she really wants to protect in her hand. If she's going to those lengths to counter a Hymnotorak.
Yeah.
And that means that this follow-up Hymnotorak is going to be quite the backbreaker, especially if Jake has a land delay player on Spell Pierce. So here this is.
What would have been really backbreaking would have been like daze your him last turn, and then he goes to fetch, and in response she submerges.
Yeah, it would have been beaten. Yeah, here's a submerge.
Oh, no.
Don't know if that was her draw that turn or not. Three, four, five. So gonna lose 2 of those 5 cards. So might just be 6 as a reroll, but they'll get it all figured out. 2 cards are gonna get lost. I can promise you that. So those 2 are gonna go bye-bye. Stifle, which predictably.
Yeah. And the tropical island that might have just been Jadine's second land.
Now there's the visions. Tarmogoyf's on top of the deck from the submerge.
Yeah, but you don't really want to shuffle that away. I think you can afford to take a hit for 4.
There's a ponder. So take a look at the top 3. And I'm gonna shuffle away. And even though Jake has a Tarmogoyf on top of the deck and Tarmogoyf's gonna come across for 4, I still really, really like his position in this game.
Oh yeah, certainly.
I think he's in a great spot. Baleful Strix is in the grip. That's gonna cause a lot of troubles it did in the first game. And just gonna outvalue Jadine, and she can keep up on cards. But again, Rug doesn't want to play this kind of game.
No.
There's Tarn. There's an attack. She didn't play land for the turn, right? Like he kind of.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't play land for the turn. Yeah, a little bit of confusion there. Yeah, there we go. Because wouldn't be able to cast a merge.
Right.
Without land play, yeah. So you see the judge point that out, saying, yeah, she didn't play land yet. So Mondello will tick down the visions to 3, draw the Tarmogoyf. Perhaps he gets a little Strixie. We'll see. Gonna start by sacking the fetch land. Coast is clear there.
Yeah, I feel like the Ancestral might actually just be extraneous at this point.
Which is not even necessary.
Yeah.
He's definitely, I think he got the tools to probably win. Again, 2 Baleful Strixes in hand, it looks like. That'll put the brakes on Tarmogoyf. And it looks like the plan this turn is to play Tarmogoyf and Baleful Strix. Only 1 blue mana available.
Yep.
That's not a bad turn. So there's that.
That might be the ideal turn against Rug Delver.
See if this resolves. Strix is just a nightmare for this deck. This isn't even like the card you want. This isn't even like the kind of card you want to counter. I will counter Baleful Strix. Sure. Wonder how good this card would be in like the current standard format. It's like a Typhoid Rat.
Yeah.
I know you.
I do like Typhoid Rats.
I know you like that. There's a blast.
It's pretty good against Desecration Demon, Pack Rat.
Yeah. Now there's a Goyf. And that's a Daze. Yikes.
All right. I mean,
yeah.
Well, that Goyf is dead.
Yeah. Daze still does counter that.
Yeah, that is the 3rd one.
Yep.
Maybe
it's late for everybody.
Maybe this game is, not as lopsided as we thought.
Yeah. I think the Tarmogoyf just got a little bit bigger, too. Yeah, it's a 5/6 now because an artifact went in the graveyard. There's a Flooded Strand, pass the turn back. That's going to take down the Mighty Abrupt Decay. Here's another Strix. That's good. Charlotte's Agent was the draw for that. Gonna sacrifice the Flooded Strand. I imagine to go get a Trop. Yep.
I can imagine a world in which Jake just kind of bricks off. Jadine finds a cantrip into a bolt, and then
Keeps pushing through.
yeah. Like
Well, I think the problem with that is just like the abrupt decay that Jake drew for his turn.
No, I know. That's what I was saying. Like if he had drawn something else, like that was basically
sure.
the perfect card.
Yeah.
It gives him a little bit of insurance.
Here's a probe. Take a look at my abrupt decay.
Yeah, got all these.
Darn it. I didn't want to see that. Boy, did that card change some things in Legacy.
Decay.
Yeah. Can't even attack. Can't attack because Baleful Strix, and now Abrupt Decay is going to take care of that. So now that's going to tick down to 1. This will allow Jake to actually cast a Charlotte's Agent, Cascade a little bit here. That's going to happen. There's a Tarmogoyf. Now we're turning the corner. And Baleful Strix in for 1.
Still at 9 life too, which is very important.
Yeah, triple bolts.
Double bolt's already kind of a stretch.
Yeah. Because now, for Jadine, a lot of the cards that she's going to draw just don't matter.
Yeah.
Now Visions is going to go off, or at least try to. This feels like a stifle. There's a blast. Okay, so that's going to get taken care of. And that's a situation where, like, you have to counter that spell because you're in trouble, but now you're in more trouble because there's a deck for 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
It's going to go down to 2. Wasteland's going to cut the green source. And I think Jadine's going to get one more draw step. And that is going to do it. Jake Mondello wins this tournament. Shardless Bug will take it down. And you didn't get to commentate on back-to-back. But you got to watch one of your favorite Legacy decks get the job done.
Yeah, and I'll be playing it next weekend. So should be a lot of fun.